Hello, everybody. Welcome back to I'll Read What She's Reading. I'm Reggie.
I'm Michaela.
And I'm Kennedy.
And today we have another BookTok sensation with us, BRADY LOCKERBY. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, hi. I'm so excited to be here. I was just telling the girls, I've never been on a podcast before. So this is like my podcast debut, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Oh,
so
that's
thanks
so
for having
kind.
me.
We're absolutely honored. Yeah.
Yes, such an honor.
Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. I'm so excited. And I feel like I've started reading some of your favorite. I know you guys like Red Rising. We can get into it.
Yeah.
I'm 100 pages into it, and I don't know. I'm like kicking myself for waiting this long, and I know you guys love it. So I'm like, I can't wait to chat with you about like my theories, like where I'm at, all of that. Once we like get talking.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I feel like it only gets better.
Yeah.
So you're in for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm having a great time already. Like it is dreary and rainy here, and I woke up this morning like I really wish I didn't have things on my to-do list because I would be sitting on the couch just eating it up right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's such a good, like, it gets you from the beginning. There's a certain thing that happens like 60 pages in, and you're like, oh, this is how we're starting? Okay. And then it sucks you in.
Yeah, I really wanted to like scream it from the rooftops. Like when I did an update on my Goodreads, and I marked the page I was at, and someone commented what happened, and I was like, everyone knows, like they know where you're at in the book, like what you just read and what just happened. It was like a full understanding between everybody else who has also read Red Rising. So I'm just happy to be a part of the club right now.
Oh, we're going to be excited to see your updates as you continue because it's a good one.
Which I feel like that's kind of a deviation from what you typically read, because I feel like you read a lot of like fiction, historical fiction type stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of I wouldn't say one of the first science fiction books I've read, because I love Project Hail Mary. I love the Wayward Pines trilogy. And this is kind of almost borderline like sci-fi, almost a little bit of fantasy, would you say? Like there's some things in it that I almost have to like go back and reread them to really get like the full picture of what's going on. So I feel like it's a good like way to, I wouldn't say it's like the first book I would recommend if you're new to science fiction, but having a few in my back pocket, like I feel like I'm ready for the journey.
Oh, for sure. It's a little bit less science heavy. Like Project Hail Mary is very science oriented, and Wayward Pines is just creepy, eerie. Mm-hmm. Have you read other books by Blake Crouch?
Yes, I've read Recursion. I've read Dark Matter. Dark Matter was like my first intro to Blake Crouch, and then I introduced my brother to it because my brother, he's a professional dog walker in Philly, and he walks all day long. And he's like, I want to start reading audiobooks. And I was like, music to my ears. I love this. So I introduced him to Blake Crouch, and then he actually read Wayward Pines and was like, have you read Wayward Pines? And I was like, no, I haven't. Sucked me in for 6 days of my life, the best 6 days of my life. So I owe that to my brother. But yeah, Dark Matter and Recursion are also two favorite Blake Crouch books of mine.
Love. You can't really go wrong with Blake Crouch.
No,
he's awesome.
He is amazing. And I feel like we haven't gotten a book from him in a while. And I'm like, hello, where are you?
Sir,
we need more.
He's like in his TV. Did you watch Dark Matter on Apple TV?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's in his, I don't know if he like co-directs, his co-directing era.
Yeah.
He's a busy man right now, I guess.
Good for him, but I need him to pick up I guess they type now, but like pick up the pencil, get back to writing. Like we need more.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right.
I also have Upgrade by him. Have you guys read that?
I read it like a year and a half ago, but I don't really remember a lot that happens. I had a really long drive one day, and I listened to it in one day.
Gotcha.
So I don't really remember. I remember it almost being like a superhero vibes. I don't know how. It's not a superhero book, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
But very good. You genuinely can't go wrong. So
okay, good to know. I have that on my TBR, so I'll let you guys know if I get into that one too.
And I know you're a really big Kristen Hannah fan, right?
I am.
What is your favorite book by her? Since we're talking about specific authors, why not?
Oh my gosh, The Nightingale, hands down. I have a tattoo on the back of my arm. It's my first book tattoo I've ever gotten. And the last 3 lines of the book are wounds heal, love lasts, we remain. So I have love lasts like on the back of my arm right here.
The chills.
I love it.
It's truly one of the most beautiful, beautiful books I've ever read. And a lot of people say that it's a slow burn, it's a slow start, and it is. but it is worth every second. And also The Great Alone is so good. Obsessed.
I don't think any of us have read The Great Alone, right?
No, is that the one about the family and they have to move?
Yep.
Oh,
yes. They moved to Alaska. Yes. And the dad has a drinking problem, and basically they like move to this cabin in isolation in Alaska, and it's just the mom, the daughter, and the dad, and they're dealing with like what he's going through, and then it just evolves into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. And the girl who is the main character, her name's Lenny. She meets this boy and it turns into a love story. It's just absolutely beautiful. I'm like, I could tear up thinking about it.
Yeah, it was very, I don't even know how to explain it, because The Nightingale was my first Kristen Hannah book. Was it all of your guys' first? It was just like kind of sobering, but beautiful at the same time.
Yes. Sobering's a great, great, great descriptor. If I steal that, I will give you credit. But sobering is a really great term for Kristen Hannah books. They make you like stop and think and be grateful for your own life. And like, oh my gosh, she is, I don't even know how to explain her.
She has a gift for real.
Truly, truly.
Oh, we need to read more of those.
I've been seeing so many TikToks about The Great Alone lately, and because I had no idea what it was about, and honestly, it sounds amazing. I'm entering my fiction era. Honestly, I just read Beartown. I was obsessed.
It's up there, up at the top. This is like my hidden addiction. These are all the books I haven't even read any of these. This is my TBR shelf.
Okay.
So
I love.
It's I mean, you guys know how it is. You get sent a lot of books and books get your attention, but Beartown has been like taking the internet by storm. I feel like again, like it had its moment and it's coming back around.
It's so good. Reggie didn't love it as much as I did, but I live in a really small town, and it's about a small hockey town and just kind of the inner workings of what goes on. So good. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Good to know. I need to pick it back up. I actually started it and I think I read it got 50 pages into it. But you ever read books where you're like, I'm not in the right headspace for this, to fully enjoy it? I think that's where I was at with Beartown. And I was like, I'm going to give this the chance it deserves. And I'm going to put it down for now, but I'm going to come back to it at some point.
I respect that. Because it's kind of a slow, I think the reason why I didn't rate it higher was because the first 30-40% I was kind of bored. And I was just like, okay, I know that this is going to get somewhere good. But I kind of struggled through the first half. But then I did a Goodreads update and I was like, do I DNF this?
Yeah.
But I wanted to give it a chance because Frederick Bachman's a fantastic author. I've read some of his other books and I was just like, I need to give it a chance. And someone commented and said, the last 50% of the book is way better than the first 50%. And I gave it, and I finished it and I loved it. But I just felt like I couldn't rate it higher because the first half I was like,
yeah.
But
and sometimes
I could have been in a better headspace. So I love that you're
definitely
knowing that there's going to be a time specifically for that. So,
and I feel like when people say give it the first 50 pages, 100 pages, I'm like, okay, but the first 50%, that's a lot to push through to get to the last good part. You know what I mean? So sometimes when people say that, you're like, okay, 50%, that's a lot to give in to not even be sure if you're really going to fall in love with the rest of it.
Yeah. I don't know if Kennedy felt that way with the first half, but
I think because she said the first half was really boring, I went into it knowing that, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
It's basically because you're just following these 12 people and it's just their mundane life in this small town. Yeah. They play hockey, they love hockey. Hockey. But then, because you watch these characters just going through their day-to-day life, the end is that much sweeter because you love them just as the human beings they are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Gosh. You're making me want to go and read it. I feel like now it's I can picture it. I remember picturing it's a very small town, very gray vibes. I got very just dreary. Everyone's just trudging through life. And I feel like today's weather is a day that I would pick up this book and be like, okay, I'm fully immersing myself in the book.
But instead, you're going to be on Mars, Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Yeah. I just, not to go, I mean, I feel like you guys probably have an intro and things to do, but we're just diving right in.
No, let's do it.
Okay. I got to the part where, do you pronounce it Darrow?
Darrow.
Darrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where Darrow just went through his transformation.
Oh.
So that's like right where I stopped. I'm on chapter 13. Like I'm ready to, I was like, I feel like this is a good spot to stop and go to bed last night, but like I don't want to. I dreamed about the book. I'm ready to dive back
She's
in.
buckled up.
Red Rising Dreams. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm kind
Kind
of
of scary. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little scary, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I doing in this world?
Yeah. I'm excited though for him to get into like the gold life and just to see what that is like, because now we know what the lower reds are living like. Pardon me if I'm like butchering this. I'm new to this, so just give me a sec. But yeah, I'm excited.
Oh,
we're excited for you.
That's a good part.
Yeah.
And they genuinely just get better and better the more you read them. And
I'm excited.
I feel like the hard thing with Pierce's writing is it's really confusing, honestly. And so genuinely, I told these two when they first started the book, have a little note on your phone with like the characters' names and kind of who they are, who their political affiliations are, because it gets really hairy. There's so many people, so many political alliance changing, and it's a lot to understand and handle, but once it clicks, it will blow your mind.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you for that. I do that a lot with a lot of other books, when even just like a casual book where I'm like, how do you fit into the story? I'll like put them into a note. So that's a great point. I'm going to make a little Red Rising cheat sheet for myself, because there are a lot of characters that are thrown at you and I'm like, I hope I don't forget you. Or like a little bit.
You know, he'll literally bring one character in and then it'll take 2 books and then he'll bring him back. So
okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. You will eventually get a character guide. Eventually.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
You're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Okay. Good to know. I ordered the second book already. It's coming tonight at some point. I try to never really order my books off of Amazon, but I was like, I need it just in case I finish this tonight. I'm going to need the next one like queued up, ready to go.
Yeah.
It had same day delivery. I was like, thank you very much. See you tonight. Just in case.
Yeah. How fast of a reader are you? Like, how quick does it take you to read, let's say, a 400-page book?
Ooh, good question. I mean, it depends on when I started. I think a lot of people think being book creators, we just read all day. And this goes into like one of the other questions you guys asked, so I'll save this for when we get to that. But it depends on when I started. Like my weekends are booked in the sense of I want to sit on the couch and read all weekend. But if I'm like locked into a book and I can clear my schedule, I feel like I could finish a book in a day and a half, maybe 2 days. But if I'm doing it on audio, I feel like that's a whole different story, because I can bump that speed up to like 2.2 and really like get into it. How about you guys? What do you think like your average reading time is for like a 400-page book?
I would say mine's pretty similar to yours. Definitely depends on the schedule, if I have a lot of work or not. We're all 3 photographers outside of this space. And so it's nice because we are all self-employed, so we can kind of change our schedule if need be. But yeah, I would say about a day and a half if I can like really sit down and read.
Yeah.
I'm a mom, so it kind of just depends on the day.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Or the week. But I would say like I at least finish 1 book a week. But, you know, sometimes more, sometimes less. I mean, I wouldn't really say less, but yeah.
Are you an audiobook user? Like, do you listen to audiobooks at all?
Yeah, I kind of have been relying a little too heavily on audiobooks as of the last few months, which is like a blessing and a curse, because sometimes I'm like, I probably would have liked that better if I had physically read it. But then when I've gotten to it, it's like it's a bit of a game trying to balance that and figure it out. But
for sure.
It's
I can
fun.
only imagine.
So yeah, it's just when I get a little extra time, I'm like, okay, I've got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It just depends. But
no, I get that.
Yeah. So
I feel like it's the same. It depends on the book, in my opinion.
100%.
Because I don't know if you've read Once Upon a Broken Heart.
I have not.
That series. Okay, well, when the 3rd book came out, I finished the 3rd book in 4 hours. And so it kind of just depends on the book, and if I'm really invested into it.
Yes.
I don't know. But I don't know. It just honestly just depends. I feel like I'm a pretty quick reader, but sometimes it honestly just depends on the book and if I'm like a page turner or if it's like a more casual read, you know?
Oh my gosh, 100%. There are some books where I'm reading it and I pick up my phone every 3 pages and I'm like, Brady, what are you doing? That's also an my ADHD brain of just like, ooh, like, oh, I didn't do my Wordle today. Or like, oh, let me play a quick game of Sudoku. Like, no, Brady, put your phone away and read this book that you're actually enjoying. It's just like sometimes my phone is just on my brain and I have to like put it away or my boyfriend like put it somewhere like I would have to like take my blanket off, get up and go get it. Like I have to put my phone away, even though I'm enjoying the book, but my phone is such a distraction to me. People ask me that all the time. Like, how do you not get distracted by your phone? And I'm like, let me know when you find out because I have not a clue.
I have to like put it in a different room that I can't even hear like the vibrate, like nothing. Or else I'm on it and I'm like, oh, I just spent 40 minutes on my phone when I could have been reading my book.
Yes. And I'm like, last night, I'm like, I'm loving Red Rising so much. It's 8:30. We're like in bed by 9:30 kind of people. And I'm like, oh, I have 30 minutes before we get into bed. And I'm found myself down a Facebook, of all places, Facebook Reels rabbit hole of like the bottles rolling down the steps, breaking the sand.
Yes.
I'm like, Brady, you're reading like one of the best books you've ever read and you're doing this instead.
Yeah, I feel like different distractions play a role in your reading, as well as just like the season of life that you're in.
Oh, for sure.
So,
absolutely.
But that's exciting moving. I moved a few months ago and I was just listening to audiobooks.
I feel like that's going to be
packing, listening to audiobooks. It was the best thing.
Yes. Even the drive down, we're going to take, normally my boyfriend and I, we drive together, but obviously on our last day in Delaware, we're going to be driving both of our cars down. And we always talk on the phone. Like if I ever, like he dropped me off, I needed an oil change the other day, but when he followed me home, like we were on the phone, even though we're one car behind each other. And I said to him, I was like, we are not going to be on the phone for this 7-hour drive. I'm going to pick an audiobook. He's like, that's fine. He listens to like podcasts. So he's like, I have a podcast picked out. I'm like, okay, I got my audiobook. You have your podcast. And we can like, you know, if you see something crazy when you're driving, you're like, you got to call them about it. But like, I want to listen to my audiobook.
Yeah, it's me time.
That makes me feel so much better because I say the same things to my husband. Like if I have a long drive, I'm like, don't call me.
Yeah.
I want to listen to my audiobook. So thank you for saying that because sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm a mean wife.
No,
I want to listen to my audiobook.
They know. I get like excited. I'm going to see one of my best friends before we move down. We're doing like a girl like slumber party night on Friday. And I have a 3-hour drive there. And then I'll have a 3-hour drive the next morning. And I'm like, what should I listen to? Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's like a 12-hour book right there.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that's so fun.
I can't remember like long drives before I listened to audiobooks. I'm like, well, what did I do?
I know.
I listen to music. I don't even know which music is really trending right now.
I don't even.
And I'm like, someone turns a song on and they're like, oh, I'm so sick of this song. It's on the radio all the time. And I'm like, when's the last time I turned on the radio? I couldn't tell you.
That is such a great point. When people are like, what's your favorite song? I'm like, my audiobook. Like I don't listen to music. I always rotate through my Taylor Swift albums, but like I have my favorites, but new music, I rely on TikTok for new music. Like thank you TikTok for showing me the new Selena album. Like when Sabrina Carpenter came out with her new album, like, you know, all the songs from TikTok. I'm like, I don't just put on a new album and listen. It's all about the audiobooks.
Well, then it's always like the 15 seconds of the song is like the only part, you know?
Yeah.
So like something comes on if I'm somewhere with like other people and I'm like, oh, I can sing this chorus. But then the verse comes on. I'm like, what song is this?
Yeah. And
Just
everyone
kinda
else
how it
is
goes.
singing. And I'm like,
yeah. The beginning of every song always trips me out. I'm like, what song is this? And like, oh, it's this one on TikTok. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yes.
Got
or when
it.
Spotify Wrapped comes out and it's like the same 3 songs over again. But I'm like, no, but Spotify introducing audiobooks was a blessing and a curse because it used to be my go-to. I would do Audible for audiobooks, Spotify for music. Now it's just like wherever I have free credits, I'm running all over the place.
You have to be strategic with the credits. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use the Libby app?
I don't because I'm not a member of my library here, but when we move, I will be joining Libby, doing all the things.
Libby is the best.
It's actually the best ever.
Okay. You'll have to give me like the tips and tricks. I feel like it's intimidating to do Libby, like, waiting for books, and like you'll have to give me all the tips and tricks on how to do it because I want to become a library girl, even just going to the library.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of leads into one of our questions. What is your ideal method of reading? Do you physically read, or do you have a Kindle, audiobooks? What's your fave?
I always have like multiple going at once. I feel like that's just I don't know, my brain like jumps between genres. So I'm like, okay, one on audio, one on my Kindle, one on my physical copy, just for my brain to like compartmentalize them. But I feel like my preferred is always just like a good classic paperback. Like, can't beat it. But then I always love to, if I loved it, I'll swap it for a hardcover because I love the way hardcovers look on your bookshelf. Like, they're all the same height, they're all cohesive together. But I love a good classic paperback. And there's nothing better than like the smell of a book. Not to sound like an old woman. I love the smell of a book. Like, I love
like
it.
flipping the pages. I don't know. Something about flipping a page and like seeing your progress.
Yes.
Like putting your bookmark in your book. Something about it. I can't explain it, but it's just like a serotonin boost. Like, I got this far.
Yeah. Like on Kindle, you have to rely on the time at the bottom of the which I have to turn off because it's like racing your GPS. Like, oh, you think I can finish this in 3 minutes? Like, you haven't seen me. Like, buckle up. I'll give you a minute. But with a physical book, I always flip it. I'm like, okay, I got 3.5 pages to go. Got it. Like, just to gauge on like how long each chapter is. I do that every time I start a chapter. How many pages am I in for? I'm glad I'm not alone in that because sometimes I feel crazy.
No, I do that every chapter. And then when it's really long, I'm like, maybe I'll stop now.
Yeah. Now maybe I'll scroll a little bit.
It's like a reward. It's a reward.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it really is.
So when you have your 3 methods of reading, are you doing 3 different genres, or do you intermix genres as well while you're reading all 3?
Usually. I usually do like a nonfiction memoir on audio. I'll do like a quick Kindle Unlimited thriller and then whatever came off of this bookshelf whatever I was in the mood for.
I love it. So do you have a different bookshelf with all of the ones that you have read? Is it like in a different room?
This one. No,
that
so
one.
These are,
that one.
Yeah, this is like I sit right here in this chair and like film my book videos in front of this. And then these are my TBR books, which is like literally overflowing. I organized it before which is saying something, like that's not organized. But these are all the books I've read. These are the books I have not read. And I'm limited on space here now, but when we move, like the bookshelves will be exploding.
I love it.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So
how about you guys? Do you guys read multiple books at once? Are you always like, do you have multiple in rotation? And like, do you prefer physical? Do you prefer your Kindle? Like, I always love to hear what other.
Yeah, I feel like I always have at least an audiobook that I'm listening to and then like a physical book, whether it be my Kindle or like a paperback. I'm a Kindle girly though. As much as I do love having like a physical book, I don't know if it's just like since I become a mom, it's just so much easier for me sometimes. And like on the go, it's really nice. But yeah, there's definitely times where I have like right now, I have an audiobook, a Kindle book, and a physical copy of different books that I'm reading. It kind of depends, but usually I'm almost always have an audiobook and a physical book, whether it's my Kindle or...
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't really... I guess I do try to do a little bit of different genres, just so I don't get confused.
Oh, yeah. Like, I can't do, like, 2 fantasy books at once. It's too much.
But I prefer, like, a physical copy. I actually don't have a Kindle.
You don't?
I don't.
It's
just my personality trait at this
Michaela's
point.
claim to fame.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Just kidding. I really do want to get one. I just haven't gotten one yet. I don't know why.
Well, wait till Prime Day. It'll go on sale again.
True. Yeah, that's
and
probably...
the new Color Soft is fun. Like, seeing things in color. It's not as vibrant as people think. Like, it's going to look like an iPad. And I'm like, that's what makes it a Kindle, though, having that specific screen that's like not super bright. But no, you need to get a Kindle. If not just to say you have a Kindle. And then they're fun to collect cases. And then you can stock it with books on sale. It's just fun to like see all of your books in your little library.
I really want to get a Kindle because I also do like fan fiction, and so I just want to like download it onto my Kindle instead of reading on my phone. I read all of Manacled on my phone.
What? I haven't read it, but I know it's like 1,000 pages long.
It's so long. I read it on my phone in Mexico. The worst time to read that book. I don't know why I decided when I was in Mexico to read that book, but I know it. So I'm like, I gotta get a Kindle, so I'm not reading fan fiction on my phone.
That's crazy. A 900-page. I couldn't even read like. I don't even want to read like a menu on my phone, let alone you're reading like a 900-page book. That is like, I would never
again.
About that.
Never again. I won't do it.
Well, and your poor eyes. Like, that's why Kindles are great because they don't have the same blue light.
My eyesight's going out. So
yeah, all
probably from that book.
Yeah, literally 900 pages.
Just you wait till when you get your Libby app, because sometimes you can time it right and you get really lucky and you can have, because this is my favorite way to read. I have the physical copy, the Kindle copy, and then the audiobook. So then it's like I have all three methods. So during the day I can read, on my physical copy. If I go on drives, I can listen. But then at night, when you're laying in bed, you can get comfy with your Kindle.
Yes.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best. And then you're not spending hundreds of dollars on one book,
Yeah.
You get to just borrow it from the Libby.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. I do that too and that's a great thing also about Kindle. When you get a Kindle Unlimited book, sometimes they come with the audiobook and it knows where you're at. So like you can listen in the car and it jumps to where you're at, and then you get on your Kindle that night and it knows where you ended on the audio version. Like, I love how it's all.
I wish it could be like that all the time. That's my dream.
You've convinced me. You know what? Shout out to the 21st century. Like,
yes. No, seriously.
That's the best.
Almost too connected, but I'll take it. I love it.
So hey, at least we're reading.
Yeah.
At least we're reading.
Right.
What would you say? Would you say fiction is your favorite genre? Or like, do you read a lot of romance? What's kind of your
I feel like,
faves?
I mean, I love nonfiction. Like, I really do love listening to memoirs. That is like one of my favorite ways to read. Every time I finish a memoir, I'm always looking for someone else's. Like right now I'm reading, I forget which Duggar from, 19 Kids and Counting.
Yeah.
I think it's Jill, her book, Counting. I don't want to butcher the title of it, but I finished Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. Just like a fun, not really fun. I mean, it's about tuberculosis, but John Green is so whimsical and kind of nutty. It was fun to read that. And I was like, what do I want to read next? Jumped into a nonfiction. I love learning and I love someone telling me their story. I think it's really fun. But yeah, fiction in general. I mean, I love romance, but I have to find the right one. Like I really have to. I'm pretty picky. I love historical fiction. I'm dipping my toe into sci-fi and fantasy. And now we're getting into the world of like beach reads now that it will be May. And I feel like, I don't know if that counts as a genre, but in my world it does. So beach reads are like, I'm ready.
It's so funny because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and I was telling them like, sometimes I miss being in college and going to school because it exercised my brain, right? Like you're learning new things, whatever. And then they asked me, they were like, well, don't you read a lot? And I was like, I read smut. Okay. I don't read really educational books. So hearing you say that about, because I don't read a lot of nonfiction. So hearing you say that about nonfiction, I'm like, I need to give it more of a chance so that maybe I kind of scratch that itch in my brain where I'm actually learning something and it's not just, I gain nothing from that book when I finish,
Yeah, no, I get that. And so school never came easy to me. Like I was a solid B, C student. If I got an A, that was like, yay. But I feel like in high school and college, I couldn't read for fun because I was so focused on what I was learning in school. Once I graduated college, I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually read for fun and I can, pay attention to what I'm reading. And then I discovered memoirs, and it's really just like someone telling you their life story. And so many people have lived just crazy life experiences. Like Julia Fox, Down the Drain is one of my all-time favorite memoirs to recommend because I live a very like slow lifestyle. I like to sit on my couch. I like to read. I like to drink my tea. I'm not like going out to the clubs. I'm not like, I'm happy at home. Where Julia Fox was like 13 doing the craziest things. So her book is so fascinating and interesting to listen to because we live such vastly different lives. And she just, it's absolutely insane. Like one of the most insane memoirs / stories I've ever listened to in my life, but I never would have known it if I didn't just happen to pick it up on audio one day.
Does she narrate her own book?
She does. And that's like one of my favorite parts about memoirs. Like Jeanette McCurdy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad my mom died. A lot of people love that. And a lot of people have read it. But I'm like, the audio is so good because you can hear her, the way she talks about certain things that have happened in her life. And there's one point towards the end of the book in one of the chapters that she actually, like, as she was recording it, she started crying and they kept it in. And like you could hear her voice break and she gets like choked up talking about one specific thing that happens in the book. And it's like, it made me tear up. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she just laid her entire life into this book. And I mean, now we're all fortunate to read it, but hearing her tell her story was just beautiful and eye-opening and again, like educational. As a kid who grew up watching Nickelodeon and like now knowing what was going on behind the scenes, it's very like, oh my gosh, heartbreaking.
Yeah, very eye-opening too.
Did we all listen to that?
Mm-hmm.
That one was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So good. I wanted to do an updated, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm going to do an updated video on like all my memoir favorites.
So I will be tuning
please
in.
do.
Every time I listen to one, I'm like, why do I not listen to more of these? Because they are, there's like a quote. I don't know who said it. It's kind of like a cheesy one, but I feel like I always think of this when I read a memoir, but it's like, there's not a person you wouldn't love if you could read their story or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how much you can learn about someone and relate to someone even when you live completely different lives and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be tuning in.
No, seriously.
For that because I could always use more recommendations because I always enjoy those.
Have you read, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you go first.
No, you're good.
Have you read the Paris memoir, Paris Hilton's?
I have.
That one's crazy too.
And her voice, like she's so, everyone hears her, like her Paris voice that she like turns on when she's on certain interviews and in that Paris mode. But you get like such a different version of Paris that like really personifies her as like an actual human being and not just like, you know, Paris from what
The Simple Life.
Thank you. Yes. It's like a real human. And I mean, oh my gosh, again, heartbreaking. Her story is insane. And now it like makes sense to then see what she's doing in real life, being an activist for all of these people who are in these crazy wilderness camps that their parents send them to. It makes her feel like a real life, like superhero almost. Like act like, oh my, it's crazy. She's amazing.
We haven't read that. I haven't listened to that one yet.
It's really good. It's really crazy because she came to Provo.
Oh yes, I remember.
Yeah, it was
that.
in Provo.
Yeah.
So if you had to give, I know it's hard to rate memoirs. Not that I've read a ton, but if you had to give your top 3, you said the Julia Fox one. Do you have another 2 that come straight to your mind when you think of memoirs?
I do. All kind of different from each other. So Julia Fox is just like insane. She lives this crazy life in New York City, running around the city and getting into really bad crowds. So you get like, it's absolutely insane. I also always recommend Educated by Tara Westover. Just a crazy life that these kids lived because their parents basically lived off the grid and didn't believe in healthcare. So like learning about like accidents that they went through on the farm and how they didn't go to a hospital for certain things. You're just like, it's so frustrating, but in like an educational way. It's absolutely insane. And then I would say a more recent favorite of mine has been The Many Lives of Mama Love. I don't know what took me so long to read this one, but it's about Mama Love. And she is just like your typical California suburban mini driving mom, but she's a heroin addict. And to fund her addiction, she's stealing from other moms at her school. So she would like go to like PTA meetings and then like raid their cars while they were in the meetings. It's insane. So she gets put into jail, works her way through the prison system. And then it's about her story in prison and then how difficult it is when you're out to get back on your feet and how it's virtually impossible. Like when you're in the system, you have to work a full-time job, but you have 8 meetings that you have to be at. And if you miss one, you get thrown back in prison. And it's just very eye-opening to what the system looks like. And following her now on Instagram, she's just living this very full life where like she gets her sons back and you get to hear about the sons in the book when they were kids. Now they're getting married. And it's just very like, it's a really eye-opening book, but now knowing where she's at in life, it like made reading it a little bit. I had to like look her up on Instagram right away. I'm like, I need to make sure you're okay. Like, are you okay now after? It's a wild, wild, wild story. So this would be my top 3, kind of in like 3 different genres. But I have a ton of favorites. I love them. Every time I see one, I'm like, add to my want to read list on Goodreads. Thank you.
Well, I'll be looking out for your TikTok when you give all of your memoir recommendations, because honestly, all 3 of those sound amazing.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Educated take place in Weston, Idaho? Does that sound familiar to you?
It does.
I literally live like 5 minutes from there.
No way.
Yeah, I live in a really small town in Idaho. Yeah. I was like, when I first heard about that book, I was like, wait, this is in Weston?
Yeah.
This is a little close to home, but
yeah.
Okay.
No, then I feel like you would like it even more because you'll be able to really put a visual of like where they're at, what they're talking about, all of that. You would really love it.
Okay, I'm adding it ASAP.
Yes. Next time you're like browsing and you're like, what? Add it. I read the physical copy of it. I haven't even listened to it and I still finished it. I sat on the beach one day and just blew through it the whole time I was sitting there. And then apparently it's great on audio, but I read the physical copy. So whichever way you go, you'll have a great time with it.
Perfect. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So were memoirs your like start into reading, or was there like a book that kind of started you on this path of like your reading journey?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, like Little House on the Prairie, Boxcar Children, like I don't know what was in those books making me want to become an orphan and like run away from homes, but I was like in 4th grade, like, Mom, we don't need running water. Like, what are we doing? And then I feel like the book that always, like, I can still picture what I pictured when I read it for the first time was The City of Ember. I read it in like middle school, and then that opened my world to Harry Potter. And then my family got me a Kindle Fire tablet. Like, I don't even know what year those came out in. I can't find it for the life of me. I really want to like find it and fire it up. But I remember reading the Divergent series on there. So I feel like those really like I've always been interested in the dystopian sci-fi fantasy vibe. And I feel like those are the ones that are like really, they got me as a kid. And now I have free will and adult money to buy books whenever I want.
So do you feel like you ever had a lull in reading, or do you think you've just read your entire life?
Definitely in like high school and college when I didn't have time or like the mental willpower to read and do school at the same time. And then when I worked a corporate job before I did social media, and back then I couldn't listen to an audiobook and type at my job at the same time. So I would listen to a lot of podcasts back then. But now that I do social media and a lot of books have become a big part of my content, I now do audiobooks all the time. So I feel like that's kind of how it's evolved. And then, of course, I just love collecting books and just having them to look at.
Having a whole library, yes.
Yes.
When did you like start on your social media journey? Was it always BookTok, or how did you start? Tell us like your starting point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have found me because of my book videos, but I've been doing social media in May, it'll be 4 years full time, but like 5 years total, I would say. I started back in 2020, back in the day, the pandemic days. I was working my corporate job. We got sent home in March. And then that holiday season, I started just posting like gift guide videos, what I'm asking for Christmas. And a lot of the stuff I was showing was just like Amazon things. And Amazon reached out and they're like, hey, you should join our influencer program, get a storefront, and you can make commission on all of the things you're showing. And I was like, okay, cool. So I did that. And then I got to the point where I was making almost double my corporate salary just from what I was doing on social media. I had a few like small brand deals like trickling in for like a couple $100s a piece, which amazing. I was like, oh my God, like cool, extra money. This is great. And I got to the point where I had a lot of things I could be doing with social media, but I didn't have the time because I was working this corporate job that I despised. Like I literally would cry every morning getting online. Like we worked overtime, but we weren't getting paid for overtime. So it was just like not not the vibe anymore. So I literally made a PowerPoint presentation and I went over to my parents' house and I was like, this is why I want to quit my corporate job. These are my finances. This is what I'm making and they were like, girl, do what you want to do. Live your life. Do what makes you happy. So I ended up quitting May of 2021, doing a lot of Amazon stuff, every little like brand deals that would trickle in here and there. And then I started posting books in like 2022. And we're in 2025 now, within the past like 3 years, I would say maybe more starting in 2023 when I was posting books really consistently, my following has grown like exponentially. So I think a lot of people think I am just like a book talker and I just read all day. But I have a manager. I'm signed with a management company. I try to do like other content along with my book content, but the girlies love the books. So it's like they always say, like niche down, but I do a little bit of everything. Amazon finds, hauls, get ready with me's. And I think sometimes when people follow me for books and I pop up and I'm like, here's an Amazon haul, they're like, what are you doing? But I'm like, this is where I actually started. The books are more new than the stuff I was doing before. So that's kind of like a little bit of my social media journey.
That's
up
so
until
fun.
now.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I think it's really cool that you've been able to grow your following and have like such great consistency with like, just from what I've seen with like your engagement and everything, with not specifically niching down to something, because I think a lot of people feel like in order to grow online, you have to niche down and stick to one thing.
Yeah.
And I think you're a really great example that you can be successful without having to just stick to one thing.
Thank you.
And so,
yeah.
yeah.
I think there's like, it's hard because my book videos do always perform more. They perform better than like if I posted a vlog. It's just, I think people wait for book videos. I try to post at least one a day on TikTok and on Reels. But if I post a vlog or I post a haul, it never really performs as well as the book videos do. But I think keeping yourself diverse is still important because you will attract to different audiences, and becoming homeowners and buying a house and all of that, I think will also, again, like open up doors to more things, but also staying true to books and what I enjoy and the books that I do enjoy reading. But yeah, it is, I'm torn on the niche down or to like diversify yourself, because if it works, then it works. But I also don't want to burn myself out, like constantly I feel like I talk about the same books over and over again. Like if Wayward Pines trilogy comes out of my mouth one more time, I swear people are going to like slap me through the screen. Like they're like, girl, shut up. We know you love it. Move on.
Well, and I mean, the reality of it is books is only one part of your life, right?
Yeah.
You're moving, you have a significant other. There's so many other things. Like, I saw that you just posted a Sephora sale thing, right? Like makeup, clothes, Amazon.
Yeah.
That's only one facet of your life. And so to limit yourself to one thing does kind of limit yourself. So
yeah, for sure. My manager is always like, I don't know, even like, she's like, she pitches me to everything. Like she's like, you do beauty, you do fashion, you do this, you do that. So I'm kind of just going along with what I enjoy as a person is just basically what you see on the screen as well. And that's why I'm really excited to move to just like share more of my life. I don't really vlog much here, but like moving and just being able to show more of myself rather than like a sit down structured video every day. I just can't wait to like morning in my life, night in my life, let's go run errands, like all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been a journey and it's been a great one, and one that I would not trade for anything.
if someone was looking to grow, maybe it's the same thing. If someone was looking to grow their social media following, what is some advice that you would have for them, whether it's BookTok or not?
I always say just honestly staying true to who you are. Like if you have an opinion about something or you like something, like don't change the way you feel about that because of what people online might say. Like I feel like that's really helpful in the book space. If you don't like a book, that's okay. You don't have to like every book, but there are people out there who will find you and like they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I read that book and I also didn't like that book. Now I want to follow you because we have very similar taste in books," which is also why I started posting book content. I remember seeing a video, it's like a running joke. that Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney is like my least favorite book of all time. And I know a lot of people love it, and I love that other people love it. It's just like a joke now that I really don't like that book. Same with like The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. That could be bro. But I remember reading it and I'm like, I didn't like this book. So I made a TikTok being like, these are books that I read because of BookTok that I actually didn't like. And people were like, oh my gosh, I agree with you. I'm going to follow you because we have similar taste in books. So just staying true to like who you are, what you like, what you stand for, just be who you are. And the people who also agree with you, they will find you. It might take time, but also another tip is just being consistent. Post yourself consistently, do things consistently. I always have like a trending audio video in my back pocket for days where I don't have anything to post. Maybe I don't have anything to say that day. I don't have anything queued up to go live. Post a trending audio because it might blow up and, people will find you that way.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Is there, I guess we've talked a lot about some of your books you love, but is there 3 to 5 books that you feel like would describe you as a reader?
Yes, I saw this question and I was like trying to narrow it down, but I chose one from like every genre because I feel like I read a lot of genres. So like The Nightingale for historical fiction. I Who Have Never Known Men is now a new favorite of mine, but that's like my dystopian kind of vibe that I love. I also educated or down the drain for memoirs. Like I feel like I'm kind of all over the board with a lot of things. Like one of my favorite thrillers is Look Closer by David Ellis, or I love Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford is like one of my all-time favorite romances. That's also who I put as my book boyfriend, Kai. Obsessed. I love that man. I would leave Gavin for that man. Just kidding. I love him.
I don't think any of us have read that.
Is that the very first one? Or no, that's second.
It's the third.
Third.
It's the yellow one.
I started the first one and I don't know. I was having such a hard time with it. I got a few chapters in and I was like, I can't do this. But everyone was freaking out when I posted that on Goodreads. They're like, no, you have to keep going. The second and third one like are so much better. But
yes,
the first one I was struggling.
It's horrible. The first one is so bad. I didn't like it because I always say that the first book is all he talks about is her body and his money. I'm like, yes, we get it.
I was like, okay. Yeah, like to me, there was nothing that I was like, oh, this is sweet or this, like, I don't know. I was kind of getting the ick.
Yes. 100. Yeah. Okay. I would say you can skip Mile High and then jump into The Right Move because The Right Move and Caught Up are absolutely fabulous. And yes, we all know how these romances end. Everyone's happy in the end. Everyone ends up together. They're one big happy friend group. So you will see Stevie and Xander's, I think that's their names. You will they'll be in the future books and they're obviously together now. But the other two, and then obviously there's Play Along, and then what's the last one coming? Rewind It Back is coming this year. But keep going because The Right Move and Caught Up are.
That's what everyone's saying. So I gotta just trust. Trust.
And even if you skip the rest of Mile High, you're not missing anything.
All right.
You know they're together, you know?
Right.
It's all right.
They're going to get together.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. But I love Caught Up is great because it's single dad, nanny, and Miller is a brunette with tattoos. I'm a brunette with tattoos. And she's a baker. So their dynamic was just so cool. They had great banter. The spice was so good. I had a book hangover after I finished Caught Up. I had to literally go and breathe fresh air because I was like, this is what am I going to do without these people in my life?
Yeah, you're selling me. Yeah, you're selling me. I'll give it a go.
I need a new interconnected romance series. So
no,
that'll be my next one. It'll be my next one. It'll be my next one.
I can't believe you guys haven't read Windy City.
I think it's because I was turned off because of Reggie.
Yeah.
I tend to have that effect on people sometimes. When one of them is I didn't really like that. I'm like, but I feel like a lot of people have said that the first one is just skip it. So that's why I'm like,
skip it. And the rest are so good. I haven't read Play Along yet and Rewind It Back comes out this year. So you're joining at a great time when you can, you'll have 3 books and then the 4th one I think is probably coming out, I don't know, mid this year. So you have 4 books coming up that are all really great, and you'll love them. If you just need like a good spicy sports romance, like I need to like reread them. They're so good.
Right.
Look at you selling us on like memoirs and a sports romance that we all were like, maybe we'll just skip. You're selling us.
You are
good. Anytime I see someone comment, they're like, I didn't like Mile High. I'm like, neither did I, but just skip it. They're together. We got it. Same thing. Move on.
Yeah,
Ryan
I should have done that from the get-go, but I just and also they're aren't they kind of long?
They are. The
They
first
are
one
kind of long.
is,
I think that's another reason why I'm like, okay. Sometimes I have a hard time with romance books that are like more than like 450 pages. But
my cutoff for romance is like 300. Like 300 or less. Give me the spice. Short, sweet, to the point. Got it.
All right. Well, I'm going to go run to my Libby. I thought they were on Kindle Unlimited at one point. Maybe they're not, but
they are. They should be. Yeah,
okay.
They are.
Even more sold.
Yes.
Like I said, I need an interconnected romance series, and summer is the best time to read them. So
that's true.
And they're on Kindle Unlimited. Okay.
Yeah. You guys can all read them together and then report back, because I know you're going to love them. They're fabulous.
Okay. And your book boyfriend that you mentioned was Kai, right? And he's from one of these?
Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then who are your other 2 favorite book boyfriends?
My other 2 are, I loved Dr. Jacob from Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. He reminds me of my boyfriend. Gavin's very quiet. Jacob has like social anxiety and like gets nervous in big groups of people. Gavin's the same way. Like I really feel like I saw my boyfriend in Dr. Jacob. So I was like, sold, got it. Like that was my first 5-star, I think, of like 2023 when that came out. Love him. And then I also chose Liam from The Paradise Problem because they had such good banter. He was so funny, like when she brought the funniness out of him. And I just like, I love that book. And I'm not a big romance girl, but like these are like my big 3, like my big 3 romance recs, like obsessed with all of them.
I think I gave The Paradise Problem 4 stars. It was so much fun. It kind of, have you ever watched White Lotus?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, it was kind of like White Lotus, but like rom-com version.
Yes, that's a great. I always recommend, anytime people are like, I'm going on spring break, I need a book, I'm like, grab The Paradise Problem. It's like the island vibes. It's warm. It's funny. It made me laugh out loud. And for a romance to do that, like automatic 4 stars.
Okay, so we hate to do this to you, but Bang, Marry, Kill.
Oh, okay.
Liam, Kai, and Jacob.
Bang, Kai, marry Jacob. Oh, damn. Sorry, Liam. I'm going to kill you.
Well, now I'm even more excited to read Kai. Because you married him. Right?
No,
you banged him.
You
married Jacob. I mean, well, you have to marry the guy that reminds you of your partner.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah. No, they're all so good though. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them.
Oh, no, they are really good. The only one I haven't met is Liam. So Kai. Liam. Oh, okay. Liam's in The Paradise. Sometimes they all kind of mush together for me.
Yeah. Authors are like, they try to be almost like too creative when it comes to character names sometimes. Like, I'm like, okay. Like Westwood McEllington. I'm like, okay, please.
Who's really named that?
Yeah. Which is a great name, but do you know what I mean? Like sometimes authors go a little crazy with like the character names. Like too unique. Yeah. Coming from a girl named Brady, but.
Oh, no. I love it. I love boy names for girls.
Yeah.
I do too. That's one that I do love my name. Like I have met a lot of girls online too who are like, oh my God, I've never seen another girl named Brady. And I'm like, neither have I until I started posting online. So
yeah, that's how it was with me. Like Reggie, everyone's like, when I go to places and people see me, they're like I go to the doctor's office and I give them my name and they're like, or they call my name and they're like looking for somebody else. And I'm like, no, it's me.
Yeah. Hi.
So yeah, it's always fun to meet someone with the same name as you and the same gender.
Oh, for sure. I love boy names for girls. It's like my favorite thing ever. I was on a call one time with my manager and then her name was Sean and then another girl named Tyler. So it was just Tyler, Brady, and Sean. And I was like, look at us. We're like a girl group band of boy names.
I love it. I love it.
That's so fun.
That's the ultimate trio right there.
Yeah.
I know you memoirs, you know, the people who they're about, it's usually the authors, but is there
an author that you would say is your favorite? Maybe we've already mentioned it.
Yeah, definitely Kristen Hannah. I adore her. And then I love Ellen Hildebrand. She's an author who a lot of people think her books are for like the older crowd, like for like my mom's age or something like that. And posting about all of her books online, people are like, "Oh my gosh, like I've been missing out on this my whole life." And I'm like, "I know, like she's great. They're good." And she's very kind. I met her at my local bookstore. They did a little meet and greet, and she was wonderful and kind. And also Kristen Hannah and I follow each other on Instagram. It's like my one fun fact about myself that is like the coolest thing ever. And she's so nice. She'll just like, if I post like an Amazon outfit, she'll like comment on it sometimes, or she'll reply to my stories and be like, looking cute. And I'm like,
stop, that's so cute.
What an angel.
She's so nice. That. And I'm like, can I call you Kristen? Like, is it like, what do I call you? Like your
first name basis.
Right. Like Mrs. Hannah. Like, what do I it's like speaking to your idol so casually in an Instagram DM. I'm like, hi. What?
That's so cool.
I love you.
So well, and it just makes you love their books that much more when they're just nice human beings.
Yes. And like the thought that goes into Kristen Hannah books, like she's not just writing about like the Nightingale without going to Paris, or when she wrote The Women, like you can see always in the back of her books, she'll put in photos of like she'll be like, I saw this real life cabin. This is where I pulled inspiration from. So like she's like boots on the ground doing the research, which I think makes her books so good and stand out above anyone else.
Well, I mean, like we said, I don't think they've read any other Kristen Hannah books, but reading The Nightingale, it felt like I was transported. Like I was there. And obviously that's why, because she does her research.
She does, yeah. And like I've read The Women by her. I read The Four Winds. That was a really, really, really sad one. But that one's about like the Dust Bowl, so the 1920s, which time periods that I never would have ever. If you were like, Brady, when was the Vietnam War? No idea. But I read The Women, so I know it happened in the 1960s because of these books. Like same with World War II. I know it happened around the 1940s. Like it's piecing together the history I learned in like elementary school, middle school, high school that I should know, but I only know it because I read fiction books that take place in those time periods in my adulthood. So like I can put things on a timeline of like when actual things happened, and like being able to ask my mom, like who lived through troops coming home from the Vietnam War, which is such a huge trend in The Women, just little things like that where you're like, you can like relate to it in a way of like, okay, I actually understand when that happened in relation to where we are now.
That's nice. So cool. I love that you guys like follow each other, and
she's so kind.
She just like comments. That's
so sweet.
So cute. That's why I think social media can be so fun.
Yes.
And like, what are your thoughts on kind of like the evolution of BookTok and its influence it's had on like the book industry? Because I feel like books used to not be as big as they are now.
Yeah.
And so I would love to like hear your inside thoughts about how you feel like BookTok or social media has brought to fruition of this book industry.
I feel like we're living through like a revolution right now, and we're a part of it, and it's kind of wild to witness like books becoming popular again in the age of technology being so popular. Like we're going back to reading physical books, which is I think a really cool thing, but it's like wild how influential BookTok has become on everything. Like you can't walk into a bookstore or even Target and be like, and not see something that says BookTok, or see something that's BookTok related, or like, most seen on BookTok, or, specific tables like that. And it's kind of wild that we're like the people doing that. Like we're the ones influencing that. Somebody sent me a screenshot the other day of, they were on Amazon and they added a book to their cart, and it was like, my three favorite books ever. It was like Remarkably Bright Creatures, I Have Never Known Men, and let's just say The Great Alone. They were like recommended to buy together, and they were like, I feel like this is your influence. Like if someone adds one book to their cart, it recommended other books that are very popular right now on BookTok. And it could just be from your viral video, from my viral video. Like we have the power to like change authors' lives, which is crazy to think about, like in a positive way or a negative way, which is kind of scary and like a lot of pressure, which is why sometimes like, I don't know if you guys feel like this when you don't like a book, I almost feel bad saying that I don't like a book, but it's also why people come to you for your opinions on books.
No, I agree. It sometimes can be really scary because I feel like it can either go one of two ways where people agree or people like attack you for not liking a book.
I've gotten way too comfortable online, like saying mean things to strangers. Like, why are we sending death threats because we didn't like the same book? Like,
I know.
please, what are we doing?
Well, it's so personal. It's just like anything else in life. Like you may love one restaurant and another person doesn't, or movies, music. It's just a personal experience. But I think with reading, the reason why people take it way more personally than a restaurant is because you spend so much time with the characters, and it's like more of they're ingrained into your mind, and it's almost like sometimes you take these characters and they become a part of you and a part of your personality. So when you see someone who you look up to on social media and they don't like your book, it feels like a personal attack, but it's not.
Sure. Yeah. People, I feel this way too on like an inverse way where I absolutely love I Who Have Never Known Men. Have you guys read that one yet? Okay. It's a really quick, I think it's like 160, maybe 180 pages. And it's a dystopian where these women are trapped in a cage underground and they're set on this like really strict cycle and they don't know why they're there. And one day this like alarm sounds and the guards that are watching them run, and they happen to have left the cage open. So these women get out of this cage, and I don't want to spoil anything in case you end up reading it, but the book leaves you with a ton of questions. Like basically any question you have won't get answered in the book because that's the point of it. Like it's just you're reading about this girl who was born and raised in this cage and doesn't know anything other than what you're also experiencing with her. So people will comment on my video about I Have Never Known Men, and they're like, I hated this book because my questions weren't answered. And I'm like, but that's the point. Like, and I almost want to like argue back to people and be like, just have like an open mind about it. But there's only so much you can convey in like the 180 characters of a TikTok comment that TikTok gives you. But like, I almost get offended too when sometimes people are like, I hated The Nightingale. And I'm like, block. Just kidding. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like this book was so beautiful. Like, how do you not like it? But then people also feel the same way when I have read a book that they felt that way about too. It's weird being the ones who people are commenting on your videos. So it almost feels like an influx of not like an attack, but sometimes it can be like an attack if you have an unpopular opinion and people are like, I completely felt this opposite way. And that comment has like 800 likes. You're like, okay, so everyone hates me. Okay, got it. All right. I'm going to close my laptop for the day, get offline. But it's wild. I think we're living in a really crazy world where BookTok and social media is so influential, and it's a weird thing to like experience and be almost like at the helm of it. Like we're the ones controlling the ship of authors' lives. Like that's a weird thing in a cool way.
Yeah, it's crazy the power that like I feel like no one was reading and now everyone's reading. Like even people in my own personal life that have never picked up a book, or I mean maybe for school, and then they're like, okay, you post a lot of book stuff, maybe I'll try and read a book, and then they do, and then it's like this spiral of, okay, now what should I start next? And I bought the box set of this series, and it's just so cool because I feel like it's just a really great way to connect with people, because I have met made so many friends with people because of a book.
Yeah.
And then when you put all of that online, it could just even grow even more from there. And so you're a good example of showing like how, your BookTok account. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily even call it BookTok account because you have a variety of things on there, which is so fun. But it's just so cool how you get to connect with people. Like we connected with you through
books.
this. So yeah, it's just so
Mhm.
cool to see how it all spirals and connects.
Yeah, intertwines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really only takes like one book to get people to fall back in love with reading. Like you only need that one book for somebody to be like, oh wow, I actually do enjoy this hobby of sitting down and reading these pages, because reading a book is a very intimidating thing. And then you log online and you see people who are like, I read 37 books this month. And you're like, there's only 30 days in a month. Like, how are you doing that? But it really does take that one book to open your eyes to be like, oh, like I do actually enjoy doing this. And like you said, books bringing people together. I was at the nail salon the other day and a woman had the book, The Lion Women of Tehran on her. She like had it on the table and I haven't read it yet, but I recognized the cover. And we started talking about it because it was a book of the month book. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I love book of the month. And same with my mail lady. She dropped off packages the other day at the same time I was coming home. So I like met her at the truck and we were talking and she was like, oh, I see you're a book of the month member. And I was like, yeah, are you a reader? She was like, I love audiobooks because she drives the mail truck all day. And I was like, oh my God, did we just become best friends? So I gave her like a bunch of recommendations. I literally wrote her like a list of like my favorites. And I was like, I hope you enjoy these as much as I did. But books bring people together in a really cool way.
Yeah. I think I hate the excuse I don't have time, because I think that's the fattest lie.
Yeah.
If you just get off your phone.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, I mean, if everyone would show like their screen time on their phone and you replace that with like a book, even like an hour of screen time for a book, you can get a decent chunk into a book.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I always listen to audiobooks when I'm doing chores or like I go for a walk or like working out sometimes. Like, you have time. You just have to like you said, that one book that sets into your trajectory of like you on the spiral of I have to read another book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Someone commented on my video the other day. They're like 10 books in 1 month. And they said it in a really rude way where they were like, do you not have a job or something like that? And I responded back to them and I was like, I have time to read this many books because I don't scroll on TikTok and leave hate comments on strangers' videos. Like, you should try it. And I just like you are such a loser. She was like it's always like the 60-year-old women who I'm like, you're like my mom's age. Like, what are you like, imagine your mom scrolling and leaving rude comments on some, like, it's so embarrassing to think about. But I'm like, if you would just put your phone away, go.
And life is so much better too.
Yes. Like, that energy you just put into that comment you could have read 5 pages.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like you'll appreciate this since you're reading Red Rising right now. Yeah. My husband has always told me, I have no time to read. I don't want to read. Like, and he is a busy guy. Like, I swear he works 24/7. But we went on vacation and he was like, well, I guess what am I going to do? Scroll on my phone the whole time? He started the first Red Rising book, started the second one on vacation. And when we came home, it was like he came home from work and normally he's like, I've got stuff to do, whatever. Yeah. And he was like, the kids went in bed and it was like, I got to go read my book.
Love that.
And it's so fun because like I have not seen him like that ever. Like the last time he picked up a book like that, it was like Harry Potter when he was in middle school or whatever. Yeah. And so it's just really, it goes to show that it just has to be the right book and you can make time for it if you want to.
Yeah. So and you have to find that one that makes you want to like sit down and read. And a lot of, I mean, we always talk about reading slumps and getting into a reading slump. Life's too short to read books you're not enjoying and you don't like. So like you're going to skip Mile High and read. You can always try it. If you like, for you guys that haven't even started the series, you can always try it. You might like it. Some people do like it, but like jump into the rest. And I guarantee you'll be like, that will be the series where you're like, I can't put these down. Like, good spice, mature characters, rich sports people in Chicago. Like, thank you.
Yes, what's not to love about that?
Well, and there's also so many books out there that, like, for example, there's a girl I know that she was like, I'm going to try and read. And she picked up one book and got like 2 chapters in. And she's like, I don't like this. I can't. I'm not a reader.
Yeah.
And like, there's a book out there for everybody. I mean, look at the bookshelf behind you right now. It's like I'm sure somebody would love any one of those books on your shelf. It just takes the right one. So
it takes the one. Yeah. And that's also like finding people online whose vibes you like get along with. You like don't follow somebody just because they, I don't know, like they have a certain number of followers. Follow them because they have good book recommendations. There's a few people who are always popping up on my For You page. There's this one guy, and I wish I could think of his name, but he's always like popping up on my page, and he's always reading books that I've never, ever, ever even heard of. And I'm always like, that's like, he has that audience that does read those books. And like, he's also introducing me to books that I've never read or that I never would have read. And I'm pretty sure he read Who Have Never Known Men. And it's just cool to be able to like bond with people who you have absolutely nothing in common with other than the fact that you both read one book, but that can open a conversation to like so many other things.
Or like people who may be listening to this, or even because you're moving, it's like you could join a book club, and then it's a good way to connect with people, and it's a good way to make friendships if you're somewhere new, because you join a book club and then you have, those girls or guy friends, and then you talk, once a month you're going to go out and you're going to talk about this book to people, and then hopefully, friendships blossom from there, because, it can be kind of isolating not knowing people in your area. So
yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, book clubs are a great way to get to know people and bring people together, because you automatically have one thing to talk about with a stranger. You're there for the same reason. You have one thing in common. You both read this book, and you could meet your best friend in that same room just because you both happen to be there.
Or like, I know part of the reason why we even started this podcast was because we know there are so many people out there who don't belong to a book club or don't have friends that read, and we wanted, and I'm sure you want kind of the same thing where people can come to your page and have a friend to talk to about the books that they love, because not everybody has that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm always, every time I post a video, I always put like in the caption, or I say in the video, like, what book are you reading right now? Or tell me your top read of the month. And it's a great way to open conversations. And I love seeing other people talk with each other in my comments. It happens a lot on Reels where someone will comment back and be like, oh my gosh, I also read that book this month. Like, what did you think of it? And then they go on, like, they make a new friend. And I'm like, that's all I could ever ask for. Creating a community online of people who feel comfortable talking to other strangers. Like that's a cool thing and a cool community to have built and to continue building.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say how cool that you've built a community where people feel safe enough to talk to your followers also. I just think that's so cool.
It really is. That's, I'm going to get emotional. It really is. It's a cool thing. And I feel very blessed to live this life of just talking books online to people, and all of my other little things sprinkled here and there that you get when you follow me. Just a whole bunch of my bio, I just recently changed it. Come for the book, stay for the rest, because you don't know what else you're going to get.
Yeah. So where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? I mean, we'll link everything of yours in our show notes, but where can everyone find you?
I'm just at Brady Lockerby on everything, on Instagram, on TikTok, and I'm trying to get back into YouTube. Someone tagged me in a story the other day that they were watching one of my YouTube videos from like January. And I was like, thank you for this motivation to put out some new content for you, because I feel like you guys probably get it. It feels redundant. You feel like you do a March wrap up and you post it on TikTok, and then you post it on Reels. And then, okay, do I sit down and talk about the same books again on YouTube? I guess YouTube's more of like a sit and literally just like ramble if you wanted to, but I feel like sometimes it's repetitive, and I'm like, do you guys still care? Like, do you guys still care what I have to say?
Well, you're always going to reach new people.
Yeah.
So that's always like great. I know there's people that have found us from YouTube and then find our podcast from there. It's just kind of cool how you can connect with people on all sorts of platforms.
Yeah. And I'm excited to share when this goes up, and I can share that like I was on with you guys, like to bring my people to yours and your people can come to mine. It's just really fun to find people online who you really jive with. And now like that we've done this, like we're all best friends in my eyes. I feel like anyone
100%. Absolutely.
anyone I'm mutuals with online, I'm like, so I would literally like fight someone for you. Like you are my friend. So I love having people like that online. So I can't wait for our communities to commingle together.
Yes, everyone listening needs to go check out Brady's content, because she's got, like she said, a little bit of everything. And I feel like my TBR always grows whenever I talk to somebody, but like I'm even more excited to hit these books that I've added because of you. So thank you. And thank
my
you for
gosh.
the time that you've taken to chat with us. We know you're busy and, you know, it's a rainy,
Absolutely.
gloomy day and you want to jump back into your book. So thank
It's
you so
literally
much.
right there. It's screaming my name. No, thank you guys for doing this. This was, like I said, my first time I was ever on a podcast. So I'm having a blast. I can't wait to like listen to the full episode. And the next time you guys do a reading retreat, I am there. I want to book my
Please.
ticket. It looked like such a good time. And you guys should also be proud of the community that you've made. And being able to connect with people online is amazing, but also like in real life, I feel like that's always the goal. So you guys are doing it. And I can't wait to be a part of it next time because I had major FOMO watching everything. I was like, I need
you're
to be
so
there right
sweet.
now.
We would
We'll
love
make
to
it
have you.
happen.
We would love
we
to
love
have you.
nothing more.
Mhm.
We would
Yay.
love it.
I would love that. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a blast. And I'm so excited to see the final product.
Thank
it's
you
gonna
so
be so
much.
fun.
You are so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.